9 teams have battled it out to make it to the top, but we are down to the final 2. This is the ultimate test, the summit clash between India and Australia at the iconic Kennington Oval, and I'm surrounded by a star-studded lineup of experts, men who know what it is to win an ICC title. Matthew Hayden here has 3, Harbhajan Singh has 3 as well, and we have Saurav Ganguly, the man who revolutionized Indian cricket. Dada, what a momentous occasion this is, and what would it mean for India to win this WTC final against the Aussies?
It's a great occasion, and there's no doubt about it. And all 3 of us who grew up at World Test Championship, and the 2 teams, probably the 2 best teams at the moment, or the last one in Brisbane, where Rishabh Pant played that fantastic knock on day 5. So it's been a great contest between the 2 sides. It's different conditions, different venue, but I think it'll be great 5 days of cricket.
And we love a challenge, don't we? What is that one skill you need to possess to win that maze?
Well, I think tournaments are really about being in the moment and arriving at a stadium like we are now, fully prepared, fully geared up for the challenge. Not trying to look too far ahead and look at the scoreboard too much, but just
you want to get to, as a team, as a leader, you want to lead the team in a great occasion, and this is probably the best test of the test. And of course, let's see who plays the best cricket in the next 4 to 5 days, and hopefully it is India who is going to lift the trophy by playing well.
Well, officially the countdown has begun, the stage is set, and this is the ultimate test. Let's check out our top stories. Lift an ICC trophy after Kapil Dev and Mahendra Singh Dhoni. The fans have come in, the energy, the excitement is palpable. Thank you so much for joining us on Jundal Panther Cricket Live. I'm an esteemed company. We've got Deepdas Gupta, Matthew Hayden and Shri Shant alongside me. Shri, what a fabulous occasion this is. India and Australia, world number 1 and world number 2, in a face-off against each other for the ultimate title.
Absolutely, that's why it's called the ultimate test. It's crazy. The atmosphere is energetic, electric, and the best part is the wicket. We looked at the wicket and it's very green. It's almost got 5 to 6 millimeters of grass also, so it's going to be exciting. As a fast bowler, it's something which, if you get that ball in, and that to Duke's ball in this condition, oh, I would love it.
Yeah, both these teams are actually
being a 4th seamer, and you've got Nathan Lyon and the 3 quicks. Unfortunately, no Hazelwood, but he's that go-to man that could bowl 12, 15 overs in a day and can really create some damage through the middle order. So special talent, special player, and he solves that test match jigsaw puzzle. I mean, if Team India were looking in, they go, oh yeah, we wish that we'd have someone like a Cameron Green, and that'll probably be Shardul Thakur, I think, will play.
We talk about Cameron Green, but we will be bleeding blue from the stands is what all the fans say, because they are here. Individual score in tests against Australia. He's coming off red-hot form from the IPL, and he already had one eye on Test cricket, and that's what he spoke about after he made his first century in the previous edition of the IPL. But we've got yet another legend joining us on Jundal Panther Cricket Live. Kumar Sangakkara. Sangha, thank you so much for joining us. Talk to us about how big an occasion, how momentous an occasion this is for somebody like a Virat Kohli, given the form that he's coming into this with.
Yeah, I think the occasion is huge for all the players, both sides. It's the Test Championship final, but for Virat, hugely important for India.
Yeah, what are the challenges he would face, Shri, given the conditions?
To be very, Bhavna, you have to ask me that again, because the crowd is...
The challenges he would face given the conditions?
Absolutely, it's going to be a great challenge, because as we discussed earlier, there is grass in the wicket, and whoever wins the toss and whoever goes into bat first will have an ultimate test, in fact, of a caliber. Because if you don't know where the off stump is, and if you are coming out of a T20 tournament like IPL, it's not going to be easy not to leave those balls outside the off stump. So it will be brilliant if you get the new ball, and it will be interesting to see how the bowlers go about. You got to make the batsman play. You can't get excited seeing those grass. You got to bowl up and make the batsman play every ball.
It's something about playing against Australia, right? It brings out the best in Virat Kohli, and this is such
The Ashes coming ahead. Virat just coming off the IPL. So I would give that preparation edge slightly to Steven Smith. But Virat is a big match player. He rises to the big occasions. So he'd be really, really keen to do well. So in that context, in this particular game, I think Virat will be looking to do much better than not just Steven Smith, but better than any batters from either side in this championship final.
You played it safe. You batted on
Well,
both sides.
it's a tough one. I know everyone likes the prediction, but there are so many variables going out there, and it really depends. So in terms of game organization and preparation, I would expect Steve Smith to be ahead, but it's just the occasion that actually will drive Virat up and above what he might usually produce against any other opposition on any other occasion.
Look, this is such a great occasion, one of its kind, because for the first time in...
Listen, we all feel nerves. It's just that how we manage it, that's important. And that's where experience comes handy. If you have the experience of playing big games like these, finals like these, platforms like these, so obviously you have that kind of experience to know how to manage those nerves and how to still, have those nerves but not let them affect you. So I'm very, very certain that he would be extremely nervous because, again, even now, your greatness is kind of judged based on your test records and your test numbers and what you as an individual and as a team have achieved in test match cricket. So I think, again, this would be something on the back of their minds as well. This is not just another test match. This is final of the World Test Championship and they're who can do this.
You know what they say in England, when you walk in for the toss, you look up before you look down because the weather and the conditions can be that challenging. Let's take a look at the pitch report for the day. The hopes and dreams of 1 billion people rest on the shoulders of these 11 Indians who will be out on the field, bowling first, obviously, because they've put Australia into bat. Now, Baji, let's talk about the record-in-chief with respect to Australia's perspective. The ICC #1 batter, he's done to Test cricket over the last few years, but we're obviously looking forward to the matchup between Mohammad Shami and Manish Labuschagne.
See, Mohammad Shami is a world-class customer, and the way he's bowling, even in the IPL.
This is a big game. Obviously, first day of the test match, you're winning the toss, putting the opposition in. You want your seamers to deliver, and who could do better than Shami?
Yeah, Mohammad Shami has obviously hit a purple patch in his career, but on the other side, Australia will want to get off to a good start, and a main player in that opening order is obviously David Warner, who is looking forward to this contest.
Quite well, and David Warner has had troubles before in England, especially against the likes of Stuart Broad, especially from round the wicket. So that might be something that the Indian bowlers might try and exploit. Also, there's been a lot of noise about David Warner's future in Test cricket, his place in the side. He's talked about retirement. So there's a lot, perhaps, of noise that he's got to cancel out first. So a few challenges for him, but he's a batter of high quality. Yes, he's had a lean run in the past year or so, but overall he's still a linchpin of the Australian batting lineup, and the openers have a huge part to play on a morning like this, on a pitch like this.
We obviously love the subplots when it comes to big contests like these.
For Mohammad Siraj, as Sangha mentioned, on this pitch, it's all about, batters to come at top. They have to be all together from last year. I think he's there with a lot of confidence, and of course it'll be important from India's point of view, from Siraj and Shami, they make use of this first hour and a half.
He also has good numbers in England, 18 wickets in the last 5 games that he played when India toured here. But let's just build up to the first session, Sangha. How difficult will it be?
Balls, but you've got to be tight in defence. The Indian bowlers, Shami, you have Siraj, you have Thakur, you have Umesh, all bowl really good lines and lengths. They're really adept at swinging and seaming the ball. So it's going to be a challenge where if the bowlers are over keen, they can give the batters runs. But for the two Australian openers and the batters to follow, it's about buckling down, getting through the first session. And this pitch, it does get better and better for batting. It'll have good bounce and good pace, but at the same time, some pitfalls if you're a little bit loose early on.
Yeah, for the first time, I understand that second wicket that Shardul Thakur took of David Warner, who seemed to be going very strong, will positively put a spin on things with respect to Team India. Welcome back to Jindal Panther Cricket Live. This is the WTC final between India and
Warner down the leg side, but then You win the toss, you put the opposition in, and you go in at 73 for 2. And with the sun coming out in England, I think Australia will feel that they've done the hard work.
Yeah, we're going to start off by talking to you about the top deliveries charged by thumbs up. That initial breakthrough in that fourth over that Siraj brought in, that was fantastic. And he picked up the in-form Usman Khwaja's wicket.
Yes, I think he bowled well. He was a bit unlucky in his spell. I also felt Rohit Sharma bowled both at 73 for 2. It's been a good start for Australia.
Right, let's talk about our DBS Bank game plan. How did he set up Usman Khwaja? Because you understand that Usman Khwaja is the top run getter for us.
And I think he held that line. You expect the ball to seem new ball early on in a test match on first morning. And I think he bowled the right length. So it's not surprised that he got Usman Khwaja to nick.
Yeah, but just in that first hour of session 1, the Indian pacers, both Mohammad Shami and Siraj, really got on top of things. How impressed were you with that attack?
I thought Siraj bowled better than Shami, played the seamers well.
Yeah, they forged a 50-run partnership together, David Warner and Manis Labuschagne. But let's just shift our focus towards David Warner. A hard-fought 43. He looked a little cagey at first, but then got things going.
Yeah, he can.
That he will be closing the curtains in his test career.
He's different, He's a happy-go-lucky person. He doesn't take much pressure. You always see him smiling, and always he has an idea to everything. And I used to say when he used to bat for Delhi that don't listen to what Warner is saying, because when Warner bats, the pitch does everything. Even if it is the flattest wicket in the world, he'll either say it's skidding on, or it's bouncing, or it's turning. So he has an opinion to everything. But he's a fantastic batsman for Australia. Over the years, he's scored runs in all conditions, and I thought today he played very, very well. So it'll take a bit of pressure on him, but as you know, in this format, when you're a top player, you need to keep performing, and it's a big summer for him. And as I said, this start will give him a lot of confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. 25 test centuries for Australia is not a small thing. But let's talk about our Attenberg safe hands. The wicket of David Warner, which was extremely crucial because Ardul Thakur, as he is very lovingly called, break these partnerships. And he does it again for India this time.
Yeah, he does. And I think this is a happy ground for him. He's done well here with the bat. He's done well here with the ball. And as a player, when you come back to such venues, you feel good about yourself. I thought he bowled well. He hit the pad a few times to the batters, and I think his spell will be crucial right throughout this test match. India have gone in with 4 fast bowlers, and he'll probably be the 4th, who Rohit will expect to hold on to one end, keep it tight, and he can attack from the other end. But I thought he's bowled well in the first session.
Yeah, let's chat a little bit about the number 1 ICC batter in the world when it comes to the purest format of the game, Manis Labuschagne. What did you make of his innings so far?
Yeah, he's fought hard. That's how batsman wants the lunch after lunch. The ball's older, and I think that's the crucial phase of a test match. When you come in as number 3, batting first on a fresh pitch, you have to go through that period, and I think that's what Manis Labuschagne did very, very well.
But considering how the weather has changed, would you miss a Ravichandran Ashwin at this point in time?
Whew. It's an afterthought. It's an afterthought, and I don't believe in afterthoughts in cricket. As a captain, you take a decision before the toss, and India had decided that they would field, and that's the reason they've gone in with 4 fast bowlers. Having said that, in the last couple of years, they've had success with 4 fast bowlers in these conditions. They won test matches with 4 fast bowlers. But if you ask me, and if I was captaining, and every captain's different, Rohit thinks differently, I think differently, I would find it very, very hard to keep a spinner of Ashwin's quality out of the first 11.
Look, when we started our session 1, the start of the day, you saw that the conditions were overcast, but the weather is drastically changing here in England. That is what we're going to break down for you, because throughout the WTC final, we're going to be bringing you a series called Star Lab. This one is about the technique and the success you can achieve if you know exactly how to play the conditions. Even the greatest of cricketers have to bow down to these conditions. Matthew Hayden joins us on Jindal Panther Cricket Live. When you look at the both of them together, I'm sure every cricket aficionado is thinking about that 2001 series. But let's just start by talking about the challenges that the Indians and the Australians will face as they come to England to play a test match. Haydos?
Well, unfamiliar conditions, there's no doubt about that. When you look at these conditions and the bounce in particular for the Indian players, it's more significant than what it is in India. In Australia, obviously, there's that little bit more bounce, but then the overhead conditions that we saw Australia had to really navigate through. The seam movement, the swing movement with the Duke ball, they're all great challenges. But of course, when the sun starts shining, the batting becomes a completely different kettle of fish. And so it becomes a lot more even, the contest between bat and ball, and if anything, bat actually wins.
What is the key to success, Dada, in these conditions?
You know, you saw what Australia did in the first session, you know, losing the toss, asked to bat, the new ball, and they fought hard. I think that's important. You know, if they would have gone in for...
Yeah, well, we'll chat a little bit more about that as we look ahead into the next session. But time for a short breather on Jindal Panther Cricket Live. Don't go anywhere because there's an exclusive chat with the King coming your way after this break.
Before lunch.
Well, that was in case you missed out on any of the action. But let me tell you, if there's somebody who loves this excitement, loves the occasion, it is Virat Kohli. Of course, you're going to get to see him bat in the second innings. However, the King sat down and gave us an exclusive interview where he talks to us about his mindset, India's space attack, and a whole lot more. Virat Kohli speaks proudly about India's pace attack being potent even in the absence of Jasprit Bumrah. So, heroes, I want to ask you, as we go ahead into session 2 on day 1, who do you think will be the enforcer from India's perspective?
Mohammad Shami, most definitely. He's only bowled 6 overs so far, but he is key. He will have gone back into the luncheon break and he'll want to bowl that length that they know they can get wickets on.
Fantastic. Let's move ahead to session 2 and see it all unfold. India and Australia, we are down 2 sessions, and who has the edge is something that we will chat about. Welcome back to Jindal Panther Cricket Live. As you can see, the coats are off because the sun is shining. Welcome back, Saurav Ganguly. Dada, what would the Indian team be thinking right now? How would the mood be in the dressing room?
Yeah, they will be a bit disappointed. They had Australia at 76 for 3 and then let them get off the hook. I know partnerships happen in cricket. There will be a batting team who will come back and play well. But I thought they started well just after lunch, but just lost in the field a bit as the game progressed. I thought they let Travis Head get off the hooks too easily. I know he's been in good form. He's got a lot of runs behind him. But still, they were 76 for 3, and I think Rohit Sharma with his field placements at that stage probably allowed some easy runs to happen. Australia are in a good position because, you know, you're batting first, you will defend on day 4, day 5, and this will probably be the best time to bat after tea. So Australia will be happy going into tea in this position.
Mohammad Shami gave us our Amazon Prime smart move, the first ball of his spell in this session. He got
shot as well, and they've scored at 4 runs and over. So from that point of view, I think they will be disappointed. I thought Shami's spell was exceptional. The 4 or 5 overs after lunch, he bowled magnificently, but I don't think he got enough support from the other end.
Look, from Australia's point of view, Travis Head was the aggressor in this session, but you can never count out Steve Smith. If you were the captain, what would be your plans to dismiss him early on?
I thought he played exceptionally well. The runs in Test cricket against India, you know, 1920 runs, average is almost 67 with 800s.
Yeah, and the worrying fact is that he has an average of 97.7 at this very ground in Kennington Oval. But let's talk about his partner in crime, our Ultratech #1 performer, Travis Head. Picked up a 50 in fine fashion.
Both the ends. At times as a leader, you have to tell them that I'm giving this field and I'm expecting you to bowl good deliveries. When you put the point, when you put the square leg behind, you're sending a message to your bowler that, you know, the good deliveries will go for singles, and you don't expect that. And India did that when he was batting on 8 or 9. And I think that's where he got in, and then he cashed in with the overhead conditions getting very sunny, the wicket flattening out, and the ball getting old.
Look, a certain sense of worry starts to creep in for the Indian contingent. But if there's one thing that they don't need to worry about, it is the fans that have come from all around the world to support them in hordes. We flipped things around and asked Team India how they felt about their fans. Take a listen.
I think
You don't become the #1 test team in the world without the support of the 12th man. When you walk out to such support, Dada, what does it do to a player? How does that fire you up?
Oh, it's fantastic. And I've always said, even from the time when I played the game and we were touring England, it's a home game. Lords, the Oval, anywhere you go, Manchester, Nottingham, you see how they're flocked in. They're flocked in, and that's why Indian cricket is so popular. It is because of these people who just turn up wherever they are playing. And I was on a flight from India a couple of days ago, and you could see majority of them boarded the flight to watch India play in the World Test Championship final.
Yeah, we are talking about a big occasion here. It is the World Test Championship final where world #1 India face off against world #2 Australia. There's also a subplot that we're totally looking forward to. Two of the modern day greats in Virat Kohli and Steve Smith will face off against each other. But that battle is only on the field. Off the field, they have mutual respect and admiration for each other always. Steve Smith will be back in the middle in just a couple of minutes from now. The second session has totally gone Australia's way. 97 runs with a loss of just 1 wicket. Dada, what can we do now? What will our plans be for the next session?
Well, after tea, Jadeja will be bowling from one end. I need a burst from Umesh Yadav. 3 or 4 over run in and bowl quick and hit the deck hard. And Jadeja for 3 or 4 overs, and then Jadeja controls it from the other end.
Your predictions for this session?
Well, India have to come back, and I don't want to predict Australia will finish the day at 300 for 3 or 300 for 4. So India will have to come back and get back into the test. It's a very important session.
All right, okay, let's see if they effect a comeback, because it's extremely important that they take the last session on day 1 of the World Test Championship final. The excitement, the elation, the electricity is all right here at the Kennington Oval. Let's get started with session number 3. 29-year-old southpaw Travis Head becoming the first cricketer to hit a ton in a WTC final. Welcome back to Jindal Panther Cricket Lab. We've got Sunny Gavaskar with me. Not a single wicket fell in this session. What will the Indian dressing room be thinking right now, Sunny?
Well, they'll be wondering, what happened, because, in the morning, the conditions were a little bit different. It was a little overcast. There was a little tinge of green on the surface. It is Ashwin. Even the last time India was here, they were just not picking him, and they were picking 4 seam bowlers. I think you need, I think sometimes we get a little carried away. If you have 4 quality seam bowlers, it's a different thing. Top quality seam bowlers. I think 2 of our seam bowlers were undercooked. One was Umesh Yadav, who didn't play the last few matches for KKR, and Shardul Thakur. Both of them hadn't bowled a lot. On the other hand, you had maybe 2 others who had played just about every single game for their franchise. So they might have been just a little bit overcooked, if one might use the word, despite it being just a 4-over game. And with so many left-handers in the Australian batting lineup, 2 openers, Khwaja, Warner, Travis Head, then you have Alex Carey yet to come, then you have a Mitchell Starc who can slog the ball around. An off-spinner should have been there. And I think maybe that is where India might have missed a trick or 2.
Yeah, that's something that they can't do much about right now. But today, day 1 of the WTC final truly belonged to the 29-year-old southpaw.
When batting 90, 80, 100, it's a waste. They should have had a deep third man, because then that shot, the ramp shot that he was playing, he could have been out-caught. He would have had to think what he had to do. If he's not cramped up here, it was just easy picking for him to just play the ramp shot and get the boundaries.
Yeah, just 4 short of 150 for Travis Head, who's still going strong. But let's talk about his compatriot, Steve Smith, who's always been a cog in the wheel.
The kind of patience that is required in a test match. Patience, and then when the opportunity arose, he was down the pitch to Jadeja, lofting and playing the lofted shot for boundaries. So clearly, I think a top-class player showing why he's rated so highly and why he's got the number of runs in Test cricket and the number of hundreds. He's in He's 5 runs short of yet another 100 in Test cricket.
Yeah. Australia have made 327 for 3 at the end of day 1 in the WTC final. But let's just break it down session by session, Sunny. India was certainly in the driver's seat in that first hour when they started bowling. They had the help of the conditions. They used the Duke's ball to their advantage. Could they have
been a big question mark against his name? But he showed just the kind of experience that can take you through tough situations. It was a very good innings because in the beginning the ball was moving around and both Siraj and Shami had bowled really, really well. So clearly the fact that he hung around and then made sure that there were not early wickets, because when a team opts to field first, then you're looking in the first session itself to have at least 3 to 4 wickets. That didn't quite happen.
Yeah, to give us more insights from the Australian perspective, we've got Justin Langer, the former head coach of Australia. Let me just start off by asking you about how thrilled you are to see Australia bat this way on day one of a WTC final. Justin.
That's a really big day for Australia. I think after...
Yeah, but the end of session one, you could say it was even Stevens, but in that second session, Justin, were India unprepared for the Travis Head attack of session one and one at the end of session two, but no wickets, Sunny G, at the end of session three. Steve Smith and Travis Head just took away the game from the Indians.
Well, the Indians look tired and look, I think they're looking 146 and 95. They're looking at maybe 550, 600.
Yeah, we have to talk about that partnership between Steve Smith and Travis Head. They gave us our MRF drives of the day. What pleased you the most about Australia's batting today?
And then capitalised in the end. That showed to me great signs for Australia.
Yeah, Australia certainly walked away with day one, but what can we expect in the day two of the World Test Championship final? We'll chat a little bit more about that after a break on Jindal Panther Cricket Live. Don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for sticking around on Jindal Panther Cricket Live. Still in conversation with Sunny Gavaskar and Justin Langer. Look, day one well and truly belonged to Australia, Sunny G, but can day two be any different? Will the Indian bowlers look to make use of the conditions right at the top of the morning with the moving ball?
Certainly, yes. I think they've got the second new ball in their hand, and yes, if they'll be looking to get the early wickets. I think that's where their best chance lies, because if they get still in the middle session, then they are pretty much safe from losing the game. They know that they can dominate, they can put pressure on the opposition. And they've already got 327. If they bat till about tea time tomorrow, they'll be having another 150, which means you're looking at about 500 runs. So that's not going to be easy for any team, because then you mustn't forget that India will be batting on the last day as well.
That's not what the Indian fans want. But from Australia's perspective, Travis Head is batting at 146, Steve Smith in his 90s. What will the challenges be for the both of them to keep it going?
Oh, there's no better feeling than waking up in the morning knowing you're 146 and 95 not out. It's a great feeling. They walk off the ground, they can have a nice dinner tonight and they'll sleep well and they come back and play tomorrow. I think the story that will keep developing, I think Sunny G said it, is that no Ashwin. And I think we're all very surprised he didn't play. He's the number one bowler in the world, and we were surprised he didn't play. What Australia have in their favour is they have Nathan Lyon, and he'll bowl on in this first and the second innings, world-class spinner, and I think that's where Australia will also have the advantage with their tall, fast bowlers on this pitch.
Yeah, it's certainly going to look a little scary for India when Nathan Lyon comes in 116 wickets against India in Test. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. It stumps at the end of day one, and we're looking ahead to an interesting day two in the summit clash between India and Australia at the World Test Championship Final 2023. Thank you so much, Justin and Sunny G, for your company. Thank you guys so much for watching Jindal Panther Cricket Live. We'll see you tomorrow.